All right, Nathan, we'll see you in a few minutes. The state continues to see COVID cases and hospitalizations climb. Officials are urging people to get their vaccine and their booster shot. Let's take a look now at the latest numbers this afternoon. The Arkansas Department of Health reported 932 new cases on Tuesday. That's actually down compared to last Tuesday's number, but our active cases are up. About 7,400 Arkansans are dealing with COVID-19 right now. That number was just under 5,700 a week ago. Hospitalizations sit at about 450 statewide. With millions of Americans getting ready to gather for the holidays, Pfizer says a third dose of its vaccine is needed to protect against the Omicron variant. Of course, there are no confirmed cases of that so far here in Arkansas. But doctors believe Omicron could be the dominant strain in the U.S. by January. So far, data suggests the new variant may result in less severe cases than Delta. That said, it could spread much easier.
So if it's half as aggressive and twice as contagious, that means that you're going to get significant numbers of hospitalizations.
Something to keep an eye on. On Capitol Hill, a group of lawmakers is pushing for a vote to try to block a federal rule that would require millions of American workers, I should say, to get the vaccine or take weekly COVID tests. At least 2 Democrats support the Republican measure, giving it a majority of support in the Senate. But the move is largely symbolic since it's not expected to get a vote in the House. With more and more people suffering with long-term COVID, programs are now popping up to help patients receive the comprehensive treatment that they need. Malika Marshall reports.
Didn't really understand.
In March 2020, 47-year-old Phil Bezeski developed fever, a cough, and trouble breathing. When the 47-year-old father of 4 went to the hospital, the doctor didn't mince words.
He said, "You're really sick, and if we don't put you on life support, you're going to die."
Phil had COVID-19, was in pulmonary failure, and given a 10% chance to live. He spent 28 days in the hospital, 16 of them in a coma.
From when I woke up till the day I left, I mean, it was a struggle to even just use my hands to feed myself.
More than a year later, Phil still suffers from nerve pain, weakness, fatigue, shortness of breath, anxiety, depression, and brain fog.
It's another pandemic, and it threatens the health of a generation.
Dr. Bruce Levy at Brigham and Women's Hospital says up to 30% of patients with COVID, many with only mild illness, have at least one symptom that persists for 3 to 6 months or more, a condition referred to as long COVID.
Long COVID involves multiple parts of the body, multiple symptoms. And so going to any one doctor is a real challenge to comprehensively evaluate this.
That's why the hospital established a COVID recovery center where patients have their lingering symptoms addressed all in one place.
They get an itinerary for any doctors or other healthcare providers they'll be seeing.
Phil has been coming to the center for a few months.
It's provided me with some hope for the future that, this is what I've been longing for from services, to have someone that really can understand COVID.
He hopes more long COVID patients can also find the help they need. Dr. Malika Marshall, CBS News, Boston.
Other hospitals around the country are also implementing programs for people with long COVID. If you're suffering from lingering COVID symptoms, ask your doctor about programs near you. Let's turn our attention now to the Arkansas State Capitol. Lawmakers there are back for day 2 of a special session. The governor called them there to discuss his plan to cut the state income tax. The bills nearly got sidelined by a bill not on the agenda for this session, similar to the special session for redistricting. On Tuesday, the Senate voted to exclusively focus on measures related to taxes. These discussions are continuing right now. We'll have a full update on today's events at the Capitol from Mercedes McKay coming up tonight at 5 and 6. The mayor of Helena-West Helena is calling this weekend a wake-up call after a shooting canceled the town's Christmas parade. 2 people were arrested Saturday after a shooting just hours before floats were set to line up on that same street where the shooting happened. Mayor Kevin Smith believes the shootings are gang-related. The parade has now been rescheduled, but this time with more security.
I think it's a wake-up call. I hope it's a clarion call for all of our elected officials, including me, but all of our elected officials, that we have to spend the money we need to spend, do the things we need to do to have adequate law enforcement protection.
The parade is now set for next Saturday, December 18th. Along with Helena PD and Phillips County Sheriff's Office, Arkansas State Troopers will patrol the route. The mayor is looking to hire 10 more police officers for the force through a $1 million grant from the Department of Justice. A jury is expected to decide the fate of Josh Duggar in the coming days. The 33-year-old former reality TV star is charged with 2 counts of downloading and possessing child pornography. The defense has rested its case Tuesday up in Northwest Arkansas after questioning a computer forensic analyst. That came just a day after the prosecution rested its case. Closing arguments start today. Stay with us here on THV 11 and our website and mobile app for the very latest on this trial. As tensions build between Ukraine and Russia, the Biden administration is trying to find a diplomatic solution to the crisis. Recent satellite photos show tens of thousands of Russian troops deployed near Ukraine. U.S. intelligence officials fear for a possible invasion. Ukraine's president vowed this week to fight off any Russian aggression with whatever it takes. President Biden warned Russia's president yesterday of the consequences of an invasion, including possibly more military equipment for Ukraine, along with tough economic sanctions.